Next question. Do you experience loneliness while at the top? It's lonely at the top. You ever heard that expression?
Yeah,
It's lonely at the top. If so, how did you handle it?
Actually not really. And I guess from my perspective, I look at the top being when I was in a leadership position, when I was a platoon commander or a task unit commander or the commander of the training detachment. Was it lonely at the top? Not really, man. I had friends and people that I hung out with and people that I would trust to talk and have conversations with. And so that wasn't really a factor. And then on top of that, I actually don't really mind being alone. It's not a big deal to me. I don't feel lonely when I'm by myself. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm probably both. And they're like, no, but you have to be one, of course, because
right. They said so. The test or whatever. Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't care. I literally don't care. Well, like if I'm in a room with a bunch of people, okay. If I'm in a room by myself, don't care. Whatever, bring it.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, I think the extrovert, if I'm not mistaken, like has a need. Like they're like attracted to other people being there. And
yeah, so I guess that's what I said. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Whatever, don't care.
Yeah,
alone. So yeah, and I always, like I said, I had friends that I trusted and weren't were good enough friends that they weren't gonna be trying to get their own gain out of being my friend. People that were friends with me before I was in a leadership position and people that remained friends after. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal to me. Luckily, I guess I'm lucky because it must be a thing if everyone says it.
Yeah, and I guess maybe in
like I'll tell you what, do you work? I'll tell you this is you when you're at the top, when you're an owner or you're the leader, there's times where you have to do things by yourself.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And if you have a problem with that, you're going to have a problem being in a leadership position because there's things that you have to do as a leader. You have to lead from the front.
Right.
You have to work harder. You have to do extra.
Right.
You should be working harder than everyone else when you're in a leadership position of an organization.
Right.
No doubt about it. And if you're not working harder, that's not good. And if you're working harder, there's going to be times when you're not with anyone else, and you have to be okay with that. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Don't care.
Yeah, and that's actually that's what that expression means. It's lonely at the top, meaning like you're at the top because you're willing to, in a general way of putting it, behave or be a certain way that other people either can't or won't. Right, so you're not going to be able to relate.
From that perspective, you're definitely lonely at the top.
Yeah.
There's no one that's going to sit there and do what I'm willing to do. To be there.
Yeah.
Like, where are you at? I don't know. Haven't seen you, but I'm up here by myself and I'm going to keep getting after it, right? That's kind of the way.
Yeah.
That's how people end up in those positions.
Yeah.
You don't end up in those positions. You don't get gifted positions. You don't just end up. I shouldn't say never, but I didn't.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah.
Had to grind it out.
Yeah.
Keep grinding it out.
I think, you know what, thinking about this question, what you said doesn't surprise me at all. Because as a human being, I think we all kind of, maybe sometimes we do, sometimes we don't admit that it is good and nice to have like someone there kind of supporting you in this way where you kind of feel like, oh, your feelings matter kind of thing. Yeah, it sounds super soft, but it's like kind of deep down inside where like, let's say, you know how like, listen. So, the idea that like people just don't understand. That concept. Okay, people just don't get it. They don't understand or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you go to the top, that feeling is everywhere. The people just don't understand.
This is the difference. I don't look at people in a negative light because they don't get it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like I recognize that I'm not 100% normal.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
It's
that's
not.
The point.
I don't look down.
Right.
I said this. Where did I just get interviewed? Oh, I got interviewed on a Business Insider. And he's like, well, do you always keep your discipline? I was like, no, people get out of the SEAL teams and they get fat and they don't care anymore. And it's like, I don't care about that. I'm stoked. That means they're stoked and eating breakfast in bed and they're hanging out with their kids. It's all good. I don't have a negative opinion of them. Just like I don't have a negative opinion of someone that prioritizes things differently than me. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's my point.
And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And I'm not looking around going, wow, I wish I had more people to hang out with. It's lonely up here.
That's exactly what lonely at the top is, though.
Yeah. And when I was in my first SEAL platoon, we went to Guam. And when we got there,
Sure.
there was a guy,
yeah.
and I don't even know who did it. I don't know who this was, but there was a SEAL that left like a surf ski. You know what that is? It's like,
No.
it's basically like a kayak that you sit on top of. Anyways, and there's just a little note to himself. It said, "The higher, the fewer."
Yeah.
Meaning like, hey, because he was training hard for what I don't even know who it was.
At the top.
Said the higher, the fewer. So that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, man. So like, when you're in the office working,
You know,
maybe
that's
not
what I tell kids too, because that's the whole bullying thing. Is kids get the feeling that being alone is bad.
Yeah.
Like being alone is not a bad thing. You should be comfortable being alone.
Yeah. Yeah, and as a normal human being, I think for the most part, okay, being alone is one thing, but being alone with no choice is another. So like if you're at the office because you just grind all day, you're at the top, slowly at the top, whatever, you're in the office, you're working, everyone else is out at Thanksgiving, whatever, but you're working because you got to work, you're at the top, you're still the man, but you're working, kind of thing. Some people, not you, some people will be like, man, like I'm in this top position, but I give up like all these
you definitely give up
things, and yeah, exactly right. But again, you say you're okay with it. I get it, of course.
Yeah,
but
and if it gets to a point where I'm not okay with it, then I adjust the balance.
There you go. Okay, that's how you deal with it.
Yeah,
adjust the balance.
But you got to be playing the long-term game.
Yeah,
not the short-term gratification.
Yeah.
Check.
Next question.